Welcome back to the Liam Photography channel. In today's video, this will be the Arsenal 2 Part 3 review, where I'll be testing out the functionality called crowd control. Now, according to the folks at Arsenal, the crowd control functionality would allow you to photograph a landscape. Let's say you go to visit a national monument or the Grand Canyon or something like that, some place where there's going to be a lot of tourists. Well, using the crowd control functionality, you can just shoot that scene and it will automatically delete all of the people in the scene. So that's what we're going to be testing out today. Now, I was originally going to go down to Raleigh to the Outdoor Museum of Art, North Carolina Museum of Art, but we have family coming in a day early unexpectedly from out of state, so I'm going to have to find some place here in downtown Roxborough, a few miles from my home, that I can use. So we'll go see what we can find and we'll give this a shot and see if it can actually do the job of erasing people from your photos. All right, so we're going to try out the crowd control with Arsenal 2. So we're going to go into the settings, go to crowd control, and I'm going to set it to 15 seconds. And we're going to photograph the front of this Tractor Supply store and see if it can successfully remove the people that are walking in the parking lot. So let's see how it does. And it's still processing, so we just give it some time here to do its thing. And it's still working. Now, the person has already moved out of view of the camera, so all you're seeing is the processing preview with the person still in the frame. But that's normal, and you can switch the preview if you want. I'm just going to leave it be and let it do its thing, and we'll see how it turns out. And you can see at the bottom here it's still processing because there's the little dots circle going around the smart button as it's doing its thing. I don't know how well you can see the screen, but you know, again, I'm trying to show it to you as best I can. And it's going to keep shooting, and it's still going. So we'll see. I don't know, it seems like it should have stopped. Oh, there it goes. It finally finished. Okay, so now, and there you have it. There's the final processed image, and you can see the person has been totally removed from the frame. Now, when I get back to the house, we'll pull up this image on my desktop so we can get a better look at it to see just how good a job it did, to make sure it didn't jank up anything with the actual image itself. But looking at the preview on my phone, it looks like it did a pretty good job of removing a person from the shot. Now, I would have liked it better if I could have really challenged it at the Outdoor Art Museum of North Carolina down in Raleigh with multiple people milling around, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. It's the best I could do at the last minute with family coming in from out of state. So we'll go back to the house and see how the image turned out and wrap up this video. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the images. Now, these are the original images from my Fujifilm X-T4. Oops, let me get them all opened up together there. So you can see the young man here, and you can see the couple here. And let's see here. If there was another one, I thought. Let me see here. Let me go back. I might have missed one here. Yeah, I think I did. Whoops. Let me get them all opened up here. Come on. If I can get my fingers working here. All right, so let's open them with preview again. Okay, there's all four. Okay, so we have the young man here in front of the store walking. And we have this couple that's almost up to the store. And then we have an empty spot where there's no people walking. And then we have this scene with this other couple over here outside the store walking towards their vehicle. And then if we go back here and open up another window, this is the finished crowd control image from the Arsenal 2. And as you can see, it did an absolutely phenomenal job of removing all 5 of those people. The couple that was up here are gone. The couple that was over here are gone. And the young boy that was right here, all of them gone. And no weird artifacts in the final image whatsoever. The image is clean, crisp, sharp focus, no artifacts, no weird glitches, no weird things going on. Just a beautifully clean image. So I can definitely safely say after testing this that the crowd control feature in the Arsenal 2 does work very well. Now, my original plan, as I said earlier in the video, was to go down to the North Carolina Museum of Art, which is an outdoor sculpture museum in Raleigh, because I know there's always a lot of people milling around the sculptures down there. But we had family coming in from out of state. They were supposed to come in tomorrow, but they ended up coming in today. They're going to be here any minute now as I'm wrapping up this video. So I didn't have time to drive the 3 hours round trip to Raleigh and back to shoot it down there like I was originally going to. But I did luck out. Even though Roxborough is a small town, I set up outside the Tractor Supply, and while I was there, I managed to get 5 people that walked in and out of my frame while I was shooting the front of the store. And as you can see, the Arsenal 2's crowd control did successfully remove all 5 of them without any weird issues or artifacts. And the other thing that was really amazing was in one of the shots, the doors here were actually wide open, because that couple that was close to the front of the store in the one frame I showed you earlier had gone into the store as it was shooting. So it caught the doors wide open in the individual files I had on my X-T4 itself. But in the final image, it even gave me a shot with the doors closed. So it even managed to do that as well, which is pretty cool. Now, that's not technically part of the functionality of crowd control, but still, that's pretty cool that it made sure it stitched in one of the frames that had the doors closed instead of the one that had the doors open. Okay, so wrapping up part 3 of my Arsenal 2 review. As you saw for yourself, the crowd control functionality does work extremely well. It erased 5 people from my overall image and gave me a clean, perfectly flawless finished image with no weird artifacts or anything going on, and absolutely tack sharp focus. So that is extremely impressive. Now, I did want to also let you know, I have been emailing back and forth with a gentleman named Matt from Arsenal Support. So a shout out to you, Matt. He has been a fantastic resource at Arsenal, and I want to thank him for all of his help. He's been watching my videos and giving feedback to the developers at Arsenal about what I've been finding. And he also told me that they do appreciate that I'm being fair and unbiased in my reviews. So, to give you a little bit of what he's written back to me about, He's got the developers looking at the deep color because it shouldn't be making the colors go as wonky as it did when you go too far to the right with the slider. So they are looking into that. Now, another thing that he did just inform me about this week, just a couple days ago, is his developers did find a bug in the code that is the reason why the Arsenal 2 runs the ISO up so high on Fuji cameras. So unlike the other reviewers that used the X-T4 and complained about the Arsenal being a piece of junk and blah blah this and blah blah that, if they had just reached out to Arsenal, let them know what they were seeing, Arsenal could have found that bug a lot sooner. So that is going to be fixed in a future firmware update if it hasn't been already. Now mine did just do an update today before I did this test. But I didn't pay that close of attention, and I didn't try a regular smart photo to see if the ISO issue was corrected yet or not. I'm assuming Matt will let me know in an email reply when it is. But again, a shout out to Matt and all the folks at Arsenal. In my humble opinion, after testing out the long exposure capabilities, the crowd control capabilities, the deep color capabilities, I feel that I can honestly tell you this is definitely a product worth considering. It is $219, so it's not cheap, but if you wanted to go this route instead of buying editing software, you could use the deep color in place of editing software. I could see that being a possibility or a good probability. Or maybe use a combination of its deep color capabilities and open source software like GIMP, which is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, all three, as a free alternative to Photoshop. So you do have that as well. But after my testing, now again, like I said, I was not going to test time-lapse or astrophotography just because they're two styles of photography that I don't personally shoot. And I didn't want to go into it with absolutely no idea what I was doing and give bad information and mislead you, the viewers, or anything like that. So I will leave somebody else to do the review on the time-lapse and the astrophotography capabilities of the Arsenal 2. But from the main components that I tested for me, which I consider the main components, crowd control, long exposure without ND filters, and the deep color, this thing is a darn good little camera assistant, and I think it does a fantastic job and would definitely be worth considering spending your money on. All right, I want to thank you for watching these 3 videos in my Arsenal series. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on it, share it on social media, and I will see you all again next time.